Thanks for tuning in to Full Cup Astrology. Today I want to talk about the eclipse in Scorpio on May 5th, and Jupiter is changing signs, moving into Taurus on the 16th of May, and Jupiter takes over a year, around a year to move through a sign, and so changing signs in May after an eclipse is a big deal. It's going to be a nice shift of energy. So I will break these readings down. I'll do a general overview and then break it down for all 12 signs. And you can check the timestamps below for your sun, moon, and rising, and combine all three to get a better picture of the themes showing up in your life right now. So one of the themes that keeps showing up when I think about this May 5th eclipse is a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, and I came across one saying once that I thought was really beautiful, and it just said that there just came a day, and one day staying the same became more painful than change. And I think that's how change happens, is that we sometimes it's easy, but other times it's over and over and over again until staying the same is just too painful. And that's what I think this eclipse is going to bring. And it's fitting that it's spring and butterfly season as well. This eclipse does have a component to it where there could be some unexpected news. Uranus and Mercury, Uranus rules everything unexpected, revolutionary, and Mercury is all about communication, and they are both hugging the sun at this time. So twists and turns as eclipses do, bringing fated events that keep us on the trajectory of where we want our life to go. That's the kind of thing we're going to see. There could be a tendency to overindulge in this eclipse, and that could be part of, sometimes when there are parties and events going on around eclipse season, or sometimes even full moons, I like to see it as a big salt and pepper shaker, like who knows where everything's going to land. And when you add more pleasure and substances and people in their heightened states in a very dreamy vibe, then more unexpected stuff can come out. So I foresee a bit of that happening around the 5th. And keep in mind that eclipse energy, it's quite a big span of a month before and a month after. Generally, most people will feel the effects of the eclipse 5 days before and 5 days after within that time frame, and a lot of people are right around that actual date. So keep in mind that whatever comes up at the time of this eclipse is for better change. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable, and Scorpio likes to dig deep into deep psychological pain and wounds. Scorpio leaves no stone unturned, so if there's something that it's time for you to purge at this full moon, this will likely come up. So just be patient and keep in mind that anything that's uncomfortable is short term, and it's going to create that pain that allows the butterfly to burst out of the cocoon and no longer stay the same. And with this eclipse, this is the full moon follow-up to the new moon eclipse that we just had, and sitting between eclipse seasons can stir up a lot of energy. It can be a bit of an uncomfortable season, and then we're not going to deal with eclipses again until October. So that all of that intensity, not that there won't be other things, but eclipse energy will get a little bit of a break from after this one. Just to touch on the emotional component of this eclipse as well, I think that for a lot of people, this particular eclipse is bringing up uncomfortable emotions to deal with, maybe related to home matters. Mars is in Cancer, which is a very emotional, watery sign, and Cancer generally doesn't like to express a lot of intense emotion. Cancer is more the type to go within and process alone and quietly. With Mars there is this fiery need to stir it up. I kind of like a hurricane hitting the water kind of emotional upheaval that could happen. And so take that as a gift for release as well. If that happens to you, as uncomfortable as it can be, it's always going to feel better after a big release. And just to touch briefly on the Jupiter aspect, that part that's occurring on May 16th will, I'll get into more with each individual sign, but overall Jupiter in Taurus is going to be more comfortable than what we've had for the last year with Jupiter in Aries. It can bring more pleasure around earthly senses. It can have people connecting to the earth more. There could be a big focus around healing the earth and enjoying the human tactile experience. There's been so much talk about AI and Pluto into Aquarius, and those things are all mental and ethereal and very intangible. But Jupiter in Taurus brings us back to a very tangible pleasure and focus and gifts. So it can bring actual practical abundance when it comes to money or other earthly pleasures. And it'll be slightly different for each sign. And then now we'll go into each sign and see what this May 5th eclipse and Jupiter moving into Taurus on May 16th has in store for you. And one thing I would like to add about the emotional piece is that this doesn't mean it has to be a difficult emotion. For some people, it's going to be a very positive, euphoric outburst of something you've been waiting for a really long time. And so it could be on either side of the spectrum, euphoric or difficult. And hopefully for most, you get to enjoy the blessing part of it. But be prepared for either. So for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, the eclipse is happening, the full moon eclipse is happening in your 8th house. And you have been going through this eclipse series with 2nd and 8th house topics for quite some time now. And the themes that have likely been coming up are around intimacy, connection with others, your worth versus another person's worth, and how that can be combined. It can have more practical meanings in that other people's money can be a part of it. So worth and money in astrology are tied together. And it could be that just karmic contracts around finances or intimate connection are coming to an end at this time or have reached a point of culmination and achievement. Jupiter moving into your 2nd house, I think it's going to bring blessings around your own financial picture, around your own self-worth, and how you take care of your body. It can cover topics around eating and just bring healing and blessings if you've had any eating habits or patterns or ways that you take care of your money or yourself that are up for a change. And I think with the 8th and 2nd house combination that we've been going through with the eclipses, I find the eclipses to be an overarching theme that's going to go on and then there are lots of other small details to that theme. So with Jupiter moving into the 2nd and the eclipses on that axis, I think that the rewards and the healing are coming from over a year of experiences that you haven't had as much choice in. The world has been forcing you to look at some of those areas of life when it comes to other people's money and how you connect with others. And it can also cover deep psychological wounds. So you might have been forced to look at some of those things over and over again. And now you're going to start to see the benefits, and how you take care of yourself is going to change. And Jupiter is going to show you the reward for all the hard work that you've put in through the eclipses. So that's something to look forward to. I think this energy is going to have a very positive ending for Aries. See you next time. For Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this eclipse is happening in your 7th house of partnerships. and a significant partnership is going to either complete or come to fruition, reach a new stage potentially. A similar eclipse happened around Halloween last year. I believe it was October 28th maybe was the actual eclipse date, but within that range, there could be a repeated theme from that time as well. So look for that. Generally, it's partnerships for you. So you have been going through over a year, this whole eclipse season, year and a half now, has been about fated partnerships and showing you something about yourself versus other and how you relate to other people in partnership and how you hold your own space in partnerships as well. So any of those areas that have been up for change are continuing to have those fated experiences. So and change around self isn't easy. So if you feel like you have been, especially for a Taurus, so if you feel that you've been forced to create change within yourself over the last year and a half, Jupiter moving into your sign is going to create a lot of benefit around that. So I think you're really going to enjoy that energy. I think that the hard work around eclipse axis of the house of self and the house of other people can be a big task to take on. And you have lots of blessings to look forward to because Jupiter is moving into your sign. It can bring a lot of psychological healing. It can bring abundance. It can bring blessings to really any part of your chart, but especially stuff to do with self and how other people see you. So enjoy that, Taurus, and see you next time. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 6th house. So you have been going through fated experiences to create potentially forced change around your day-to-day tasks, your work, your more mundane activities of life. This can also cover employees. It can cover illness. It's a house of work. It's been historically called a house of misfortune because of the illness, because of it covers slavery, it covers now in more modern astrology, employees. So anything around those topics might have been creating disturbances over the last year and a bit. And this one is going to be, I think, a culmination of anything that has been happening prior. So you could look back to around Halloween last year, and there was a similar eclipse, and this could bring more of that story to head. And you're getting blessings in your 12th house. So Jupiter is moving in to the 12th house, which covers everything hidden. It can cover faraway places. I think you're going to have a lot of healing and blessings around the subconscious. If you have subconscious patterns that have been affecting your daily life in ways that sometimes we don't see, it's a blind spot. So that could be activated even with these eclipses and is up for healing over the next year. And if you're traveling to faraway places, you're going to have a really good time. You're going to have a lot of blessings and luck around that. So it's a great time to travel. It's a great time for seclusion. You might be feeling like you need more alone time over the next year when Jupiter moves into your 12th house, and take it if you can. It can be healing. That might be where some of the subconscious work comes in, and then you'll have all the blessings in your first house, which is a lot to look forward to. That can bring lots of different things. So enjoy this one, Gemini, and I'll see you next time. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 5th house. So you might have fated changes around fun, pleasure, children. This is certainly a time where some people can experience pregnancy or giving birth. Giving birth actually a bit more 8th house, so maybe something to do with your children if you have children in your life. And it can also just be about play and romance. So whatever brings you joy. And you have been on this eclipse axis since November 2021, and you're experiencing fated changes around to change how you experience joy, to change how you have fun. and to really examine what is going to be good for you moving forward. And then Jupiter is going to move into your 11th house, and this is going to bring blessings around friendships, allies. It can be a wish coming true. Generally, anyone who's here to support you. So over the next year, you can expect a lot of support and potentially changes in community or expansion of community that maybe adds to your fun as well. I think that the Jupiter transit happening in May is going to complement the eclipses that we've been going through as far as a bit of a shift in reward for all of the work that's been done around eclipse energy. And what a great place to have it when it comes to, it could also rule audience and larger communities and networks of any kind, if that's something that's in your life. So look forward to some energy on this full moon around, there could be closures around old ways of having fun, old romantic relationships. Could be closures around your children and blessings that are coming from lots of other people. So lots of fun for you, Cancer, in store. Look forward to hearing how that unfolds for you. Enjoy. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 4th house. So you have been going through a lot of healing when it comes to your childhood experiences, potentially home-related matters of any kind. It can be ancestral patterns that the eclipses have been creating fated experiences and potentially bringing fated people in to help you on this karmic journey of shedding family baggage, family wounds and ways of responding to the world that are inherited, that aren't needed anymore and aren't suited or fitted, and that can be a tough journey. So if you've been going through some big shakeups emotionally, it can rattle that stuff that we keep deep inside and don't necessarily want to bring up. So it could have been a bit of a journey for you, but ultimately finding more love and peace and comfort in your home is the reward from all of that. Speaking of rewards, Jupiter is moving into your 10th house, and that is going to bring lots of blessings when it comes to your position in the world, how you're seen. It could be professionally, it could be just your reputation. Sometimes the 10th house can represent status, a change in status, so it can represent marriage if that's something that some Leos are experiencing, and that would certainly change your family and home roots, so that really fits on this axis. And yeah, it looks like lots of expansion around family and business and love and all good stuff for you, Leo. So look forward to hearing how that unfolds, and I'll see you next time. Hi, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 3rd house, and you have been going through a series of eclipses in the 3rd and 9th since November 2021. It has likely been bringing up a lot of topics around mind, what your daily, the 3rd house can rule the daily mind patterns, and that's where this eclipse is happening. So if you have mind habits and ways of using your mind that are no longer working for you, the eclipse is going to create an event or an experience to help you move through that. And the 9th house is part of the 3rd 9th axis. Is the 9th house is the higher mind, your higher perspective, your perspective of the world. It can rule higher education. The 3rd house can rule elementary school education. And Jupiter is going to be moving into your 9th house in May, and that is going to bring a lot of blessings around, it could be around actual academia and higher learning, but in a more intangible emotional state. It's going to bring healing to your higher mind and your perspective, and I think that balances really well the work that has been going on for reprogramming the mind for a lot of Virgos out there. It can also, this eclipse could bring up stuff with siblings, neighbors, close relatives like aunts and uncles, and it can be close neighborhood energy. So if you're not noticing the mind shift focus, then there could be something going on in those areas that is also up for fated change and renewal and refreshing the energy. So I hope that this eclipse is a good shift for you, and the Jupiter blessings in your 9th house are certainly something to look forward to. I forgot to mention that could also rule travel. So if travel or foreign places is somewhere you want to go, you're also one of the signs that is blessed for some travel experiences over the next year. Enjoy, Virgo. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 2nd house. And this series that's been going on since November 2021 has been, it could be with the 2nd house about focus when it comes to self-worth and how you manage your self-worth, how you manage your assets, which are also part of self-worth in astrology. So your spending habits, how you invest your money. The way it typically goes is if your self-worth is lower or you're leaking energy to other people, you're also leaking your finances. If your self-worth is strong and you have a healthy way of taking care of yourself and your body, you likely also have a healthy way of taking care of your finances. So those are the topics that have been up for attention around this time. And October, around Halloween, I think it was the 28th, was the last eclipse in Scorpio, and any themes that happen then could be coming up again, hopefully for completion, as this is a full moon and we're getting towards the end of the Scorpio Taurus eclipse axes. So I think we're going to start to see some things come together. And as that comes together, Jupiter is going to move into your 8th house and bring you blessings when it comes to other people's money. So I think that the hard work you've been doing around values and assets and connecting with others in a way that honors your self-worth and taking care of yourself in a way that honors your self-worth, your Jupiter is going to start to bring in connections that really matter. It's going to start to bring in more abundance from other people, and you might be on the receiving end of some of that cash flow rather than it going out, if that's been part of the process for you. So there's a lot to look forward to when it comes to deep emotional connections as well, Libra. Somebody that is fated when it comes to your self-worth could come into your life, or at least just teach you something about it. Jupiter going into the 8th house can bring some karmic people as well, and deep soul connections. So you have a lot to look forward to, Libra. I look forward to seeing you next time. For Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, this eclipse is happening in your 1st house. It is all about you at this time, and you can look back to around Halloween last year for any recurring themes that might come up again. You have likely been similar to Taurus, because Scorpio and Taurus are on the same axis when it comes to eclipses. You have likely been going through experiences that challenge self versus other, and really maybe changing some of your psychology around how you relate to other people, how you relate to yourself when you're relating to other people. And this can even create changes on your actual body. This is also energy around how other people see you. So there could be changes around how you're seen in the world and where you're going. Jupiter is moving into your 7th house. So blessings of all kinds from other people, and especially significant partnerships, are on the horizon. So I think that is a big reward for the karmic work that you've been going through with this series of eclipses since November 2021. And you're probably reaching a point now where you're feeling like you're more self-assured, your psychology might feel better, you just feel stronger in self in general, maybe even stronger in body. And that is a wonderful platform to be connecting with other people from. So whatever changes have happened there, I think are going to bring better connections with others and probably some blessing and healing over the next year with Jupiter in your 7th house when it comes to your relationships. So there's a lot of relationship healing to look forward to. I think you've already been on a journey of healing yourself and your mind and your body, and the relationships are going to start to show the payoff. Enjoy, Scorpio. Hi, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 12th house. So the full moon eclipse is all about illumination, and the 12th house is everything that's hidden from us. It's in an intangible realm, it's unseen, sometimes it's a loss. So this eclipse, I think, is going to bring something to light that has been hidden. Secrets might be revealed, or just a better understanding of how your subconscious has been affecting you in your day-to-day life without you knowing. And now you're going to see it. Now there's going to be room for change and improvement. And that might change your health in a big way. So Jupiter, soon to follow, is going to move into your 6th house and bring lots of blessings when it comes to work, healing, health, any employees if you run your own business. And the 6th house is the house of misfortune. It has been referred to that in the past, and with Jupiter coming in there, anything that has been unfortunate could very likely have healing and change brought to it, which is something to look forward to. And so the connection between what I'm seeing with this eclipse in your 12th house and Jupiter moving into the 6th, I think is more pointing to subconscious healing, healing of subconscious patterns, and that's going to start affecting your day-to-day life. So the 6th house, where Jupiter and the blessings are moving in, also is habits and what you do day in and day out, those mundane tasks. So as a result of clearing up some of that subconscious clutter, your day-to-day activity could get a lot lighter and more fun and bright and optimistic. Those are all things that Jupiter brings. So this is really positive. I think you're probably I'm hoping you're starting to feel that shift of healing come in, because you've had these eclipses on this axis since November 2021, and the earlier ones were probably bringing up more challenges to get to this point where now we're close to the end of the eclipse cycle for Taurus and Scorpio, and that is going to start to bring that vibe of closure that the work through this eclipse series has been done. So enjoy the abundance of feeling better in your day-to-day. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you are going through fated changes in your 11th house of friends, community, partnership, audience. Maybe it's time that you had an audience, and these eclipses have been nudging you towards getting yourself out there and marketing you or your brand or whatever you're doing. If you're in sales or business, this can really expand your networks and bring a lot of benefit through that. If it's friends and community, probably there's more big shifts happening around there. The people that you want to spend your time with, that's coming up for change and sorting out. Perhaps what you've been doing up until now isn't as optimal for your energy and beneficial as it could be, and the eclipses are going to show you that. This eclipse, now that we're getting towards the final, towards the end of this series of Taurus and Scorpio eclipses, I think is going to be more of a culmination, and you're going to see some benefits around friendships. As Jupiter moves into your 5th house, that's going to bring that's in the middle of May, that's going to bring a lot more joy and blessings and fun into your life. And sometimes weeding out old friends or communities there's a bit of a dip in the fun if you're going through that process. Maybe there are periods where you don't feel like you have community and connection. And Jupiter is going to bring the fun back. It can be a signature for children and pregnancy as well. So if that's something that's a part of your life, there'll be more children, more pregnancy, more joy. It could be creativity. Maybe you're working on a creative project, and that is going to get a lot of energy and attention. And because this is on an axis, the 5th and the 11th, so all of that joy Jupiter is bringing to your house of fun and creativity, it is going to be opposing the 11th house and also benefiting your friends and community circles. So this is, for Capricorn and Cancer, I think they have great energy with these eclipses. It's likely hitting most of you in a really positive way. So have lots of fun and enjoy that Jupiter energy, and I will see you next time. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 10th house. You have likely been experiencing a lot of change and fated experiences around work, around how you're viewed in the workplace, around how you're viewed in the world. And so any experiences that may have been a bit more challenging starting in November 2021, though that intensity has been putting you on a path of changing your public image in some way. This can also affect status, so status change of some kind can be a fated experience that some Aquarians might experience. But in general, it could bring new changes in career. Maybe your career has been changing drastically since November 2021, and we're getting towards the end where you were probably a bit more on track to where you are meant to be and what's destined for you when it comes to work and career. So hope that's going really smoothly for you. And the blessings and abundance are coming to you in the 4th house. So you have blessings around home. If you're buying a home, this is great energy for that. For more people, it's going to be energetic, and there's going to be a lot of healing around home and family matters. You might be spending more time with family and spending more time at home, but because it's Jupiter, you're going to really enjoy that. So maybe you have a new job where you're working from home, and that's really enjoyable and a big blessing because you save 2 hours a day on a commute. That's a possibility. And all that heart healing. The 4th house is about our family lineage and the things that we take on from our ancestors that in this lifetime we're meant to change some of those things. And so you've been going through a lot of that energy to bring your attention to those matters, and Jupiter moving into that space in the middle of May is going to bring a lot of healing there for the next year. So enjoy the expansion of family and love, and it's really wonderful energy for you. See you next time, Aquarius. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse is happening in your 9th house. So I would expect that since November 2021, you have been experiencing fated changes around learning, higher education, your perspective on the world. It could be your spiritual practices, your spiritual mindset, any of those topics. It could be foreign places as well. So the foreign places is that the 9th house rules like spiritual pilgrimage. So this would be travel for spiritual experience. Of course, that's good. That can be a fun travel too. You just might have a spiritual experience while you're traveling, and that could change your perspective on the world and on things. You could be completing education and completing a type of higher learning. Congratulations if that's what you're doing. Otherwise, I think you're probably coming to some sort of completion around changes of how you view the world, your perspective on things. And a perspective shift can feel so good. So I hope that's what you're going through at the time of this full moon. Jupiter is moving into your 3rd house, and it's going to bring blessing and expansion around. It could be siblings, neighbors, cousins, and close relatives. But on the more energetic level, it's going to bring blessings of the mind. And with all of the work that you've been doing on this axis with the eclipses, I think that you're going to start to experience a shift in how your mind feels in a day-to-day way. And that's going to be a really enjoyable and healing phase. So you can look forward to that. It is starting middle of May, and will go on for over a year as Jupiter moves through Taurus and brings you all sorts of communication and mental blessings. You might even feel like talking more. As Pisces, I know that sometimes talking is just too draining, and being around people is draining, and you might have a bit more energy to engage and feel chatty. So enjoy, Pisces, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining this reading today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really appreciate everybody who is subscribed and liked the videos. It means a lot to me, and I love seeing it every single time. And I hope this energy is bringing some really nice completion energy to a lot of people. I think that it has been an intense winter and fall and even the spring, and I think a lot of people are due for an energy break and a little bit of fun, and I hope that this eclipse is going to bring that break. Just snap anything that is not serving us anymore and lead to some more brightness and fun change. So see you next time. Bye.